Hey everybody, it's Eric with the National Weather Service in Newport, Morehead City. Just before 7 o'clock on Sunday evening, want to give you an update on Hurricane Dorian. Talk a little bit more about what you should focus in on here across eastern North Carolina. We're still about 4 days out from possible impacts, but we encourage you to complete your hurricane plan and kit because it does look like increasing impacts from wind and rain and surge are possible across eastern North Carolina. The whole point of this briefing is to go over what we know about the storm and kind of steer you to things that you should be focusing in on with the forecast the next couple of days. First things first, Dorian up to 185 mile per hour winds, Category 5 storm that happened earlier this morning. That has continued. The forecast track has not changed much. Still off to the northwest and west-northwest the next couple days, and then somewhere off the Carolina coastline by Thursday afternoon. A couple things to remember with this forecast cone: it only shows the most probable path for just the center of the storm. So it doesn't show anything about impacts. So whether or not you're in or out of the cone doesn't show you if you'll be impacted. And that's important because with this track just off the shore or even perhaps a little east of the East Coast, we don't want folks to think that they won't be impacted. Impacts occur well away from the center itself. So even with a track that's just off the coast, we are still anticipating impacts across eastern North Carolina. Our threat levels are still highest for things like rainfall and surge and wind. We don't have a lot of specifics on them, but still look like the highest threat for those three things, and a lower threat for tornadoes. With that current forecast, they would be more likely out over the ocean itself. Going to show you a couple wind speed graphics here coming up. The first one is tropical storm force wind speed probabilities. Numbers 40, 50, even above 60% probability now that we'll see tropical storm force winds over the Outer Banks. Don't focus on the numbers as much as the trend. So this was lower yesterday. It increased this morning, increased again this evening. So look at those trends. Are we trending up or down? We are trending up across eastern North Carolina, especially along the coast. So that means it's more likely that we're going to see some strong winds here by midweek. A lot of questions we get into the office: when will it arrive? When should I be done my hurricane plans? By Wednesday evening. Reason why we say that: the earliest reasonable onset of tropical storm force winds, that's a reasonable worst case scenario, is sometime Wednesday night. So that's when you should complete your plans. They are most likely, the tropical storm force winds, sometime during the day on Thursday is when we expect those winds to arrive in our area. As far as rainfall goes, still sticking with the 5 to 10 inches across your area, locally 15. Right now the highest amounts would be along the coastline, but I do want to caution you, this is based on the current track. So you folks inland that are kind of in that gradient where we go from very heavy rain to not as heavy, that can just as easily shift westward if the track changes. So this is just guidance, 4 days out. It certainly could change as we get a little bit closer to the eventual track. We've already seen a high risk for rip currents. If you're lucky and you have the day off tomorrow for Labor Day, keep that in mind. That high risk will continue for the rest of the week with the swell from Dorian. Couple housekeeping notes: we do these briefings twice a day in a PDF form, usually by 8 in the morning, so we'll have one tomorrow, and again by 6:30 tomorrow night. They are posted to our website, which is on the screen. They are also posted to our social media channels. When we get a chance, we try to also do a video update like this and put it up on YouTube as well. A couple key takeaways: again, forecast cone just shows the most probable area for just the center. Impacts are going to occur well away from the center itself. In fact, Dorian is expected to grow in size as the storm moves northward. Don't just focus on the category. It's a Category 5 now, very impressive. It's getting a lot of headlines, as it should. If the category lowers as it approaches the Carolinas, keep in mind that only tells you about the wind speed. The category does not tell you about how much rain will fall, how much storm surge we'll see, how fast the storm is moving, or how large it is. Listen to what we say about impacts regarding rain and surge. Don't just focus on the wind itself. And again, please share this consistent message with your neighbors, family, and friends. We certainly appreciate the help.